Hi, thank you for watching. What are you doing today, Callen size? We need to understand the value of our words. Our words have a way, they have a value. And it's very important to know, to understand what is the right moment to say things. What is not the right moment to say the same things, right? Because sometimes it's not necessarily what we say. We can be saying something that is completely normal. We can have a complete normal conversation with someone, and the topic could be shocking sometimes, but it shouldn't be. Because let's say that among partners, we have to discuss, right? Business partners, any other type of partner, right? We need to discuss certain things like, budget, prices, investment. We need to make decisions, and those decisions imply that we're gonna have to sometimes have conversations that are not very pleasant, right? And when those conversations are not very pleasant, sometimes we avoid to have them. But those conversations at some point have to come. Either way, we have to have those conversations. Now, something that has to be very precise and carefully measured is the moment that we say those words, the moments that we're gonna have these conversations. Why? Because when we say things out of the time, out of the right moment, or in the wrong place, or in front of the wrong people, we are aggravating. And when we are aggravating, we are just destroying, affecting the relationship. And this is not something that you or the other person, whatever type of partner you have, either a love partner or a business partner, I'm pretty sure people don't like conflicts. We like to avoid conflicts, but we understand that there is conversation that we need to have that might create conflicts at some point. And we need to be open to have those conflicts. We need to be open to have those kind of conversations. We need to be open to be mindful that this is a conversation that at some point we're gonna have, and they might be helpful to resolve situation, to resolve thing that we are going through, right? But our words have weight. They have weight, and we need to know when is the right moment, what is the right tone, because the way that we say things, the form that we say things can affect and cause trauma, can affect you, can affect the other one, can affect both sides. And we don't want to have it, right? So we need to be very careful and pay attention to this. That doesn't have any religious connotation, but if you see the first things that when you're reading John, they said is, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word was created in the beginning, and nothing was before of that. And the Word become light, and the light shine in the darkness, and the darkness do not comprehend it. but that words was in the beginning. So see how valuable is what you said and the way that you say it and the moment that we say it and in front of whom we say it. Sometimes what we say is very humiliating. And even if this is not the intention, and even this is not on purpose, and even this was like, I didn't think that way. I don't think that way. Words create reactions to the person we are saying to. Those reactions actually create a conflict, a biggest problem. And sometimes those words create trauma to the person we are saying to. And unless we are destructive and the intention was to offend, to humiliate the other person, unless that's the intention, and it's clear that's the intention you have, which means you gonna have consequences because you're doing it with an intention. And when you're doing this with that intention, actually you know that something is gonna come back. You know that you're gonna have a response. You know that you're gonna have something go back to you. Either way, you like it or not, sometimes you're doing this to create a conflict or to create a response or to create an awareness of something, right? But most of the time, we don't say certain things that are offensive with intention. Most of the time, we just spoke out of the place. We just naturally bump it out. And most of the time we receive a reaction that we wasn't expecting because we innocently or out of sense of ignorance, we say things in a tone that was offensive for the other person, that was the hurt, the heart, the mind of the other person, the spirit of the other person. And then we had this response back that we didn't expect at all. And that is the way that I think we need to be careful about it. When we speak, we need to be very careful. When we say something, we need to be mindful. We need to think before we speak. We need to evaluate the moment, the timing, the tone, the way that we see the person, the movement that we create with our body language with the person. Because if we, out of sense of ignorance or out of sense of innocence, we say things that are offensive, they are painful to another person, this is gonna hit us back. You know, when you pick a ball, boom, boom. What the ball do? The ball rebound and come back to you. Rebound and come back to you. It's natural. It's a natural result of the gravity, right? So we need to be very, very mindful. Think before you say things. And not just think before you say things, because we can be saying the right thing. It's nothing offensive to say what we think or expose our idea or what we think to our partners or something. The wrong thing is say it in the wrong moment, with the wrong tone, at the wrong place, in front of the people that had nothing to do with that. There's something just among two of you or a group of you or something, you know. And we have to be mindful. What is the intention of what we say? And try to educate ourselves to talk, not just like like a leaf in the air, and blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. No, we need to say things after we think about this thing. We just not dump putting ideas outside. Put ideas outside when you're going to have a serious conversation with somebody, especially if you're going to talk about feelings, if you're going to talk about hygiene, if you're going to talk about relationship, if you're going to talk about partnership, if you're going to talk about family, if you're going to talk about money, if you're going to talk about any important topic. There are normal things that happen every day that might be necessary to talk. We need to be mindful and be careful what we say and the tone that what we say those words and the way that what we say those words and with the physical language that we use, because as you know, in your cultural environment, for example, in Latin America, we speak a lot with moving the hand and be very expressive, and we point it out, and that doesn't have any intention. This is how we speak. Italians speak the same way. Many German people speak very expressive, right? Physically expressive. That might be not the same for Canadian. That might be not the same for American people, For people who are coming from a weather where it is cold, with, they might kill you with a smile. They might kill you at the moment they say, I love you. We don't say I love you when we want to kill you. Well, we don't. It's a way to say, to put you an example, how it's important to know what's the right moment to say things and the right tone. And if we are talking with people with the same culture that we are or not, because that will determine the level of communication that we can implement with the other without creating a big conflict, right? So pay attention before you say things to a person, especially if you love that person. Especially if you want to keep the relationship with that person. Especially if it's somebody either that you don't even have to love, but somebody that you have a very important business with and you don't want to lose, Be mindful, because the way that we talk, the tone that we use, the moment that we take to transmit our thoughts can affect the result that we are looking for. Thank you for watching. What are you doing today? Calendar size. Besitos. I see you on my next video. Bye for now.